Benjamin Hayes. I am an unemployed project manager, scrum master, project coordinator in the IT software industry. I have wrote a book called GPT for All, installing, configuring, and using a local AI chatbot that you can control. It's available on Amazon.com if you are a Kindle Direct user. As of November 20th, 2025, it is free. I don't know how long that promotion is going to last. So if once that promotion does end, I have the price set to be very, very low, very reasonable, because I want as many people as possible to use local AI chatbots and not, something like OpenAI, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever, for their text word-based AI needs. So, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the scammers and unscrupulous people that are in the AI industry. AI is a hot thing. A lot of people want the money in AI because investors just throwing billions of dollars in it, and a lot of companies are now saying, "Hey, we're AI as well. Give us money." And the scammers are also running around saying, "Hey, I'm an AI company. Give me money, and I'll run away with your money." But there's three different types of scammers. The people you need to watch out for in the AI industry. There are the actual scammers. These are the people who promise AI solutions everywhere, everything. And, they have this wonderful, magical AI solution. And, it's a low price, buy it today. And then off it goes. And then off they go. No more them, and no more solution, and no more money in your bank account. And here's how you can tell these are actual scammers that can't really help you out. They don't mention what type of AI tool that they use. AI is such a broad industry, such an old industry. It started in the early 1960s. Chatbots pretty old as well, from the 1967, I think, 68, thereabouts. And there's also machine learning and just a bunch of different AI tools. And if a company is not willing to tell you what type of AI solution they have, what type of AI tools they're using, how that tool works, that's a scam. Now, all AI solutions need data. And usually that data needs to be cleaned or sanitized. It needs to be reorganized. It needs to be reformatted in databases. If you have a database, a couple of databases, it needs to be reorganized. It needs to be able to be read by the AI solution if you're using an RG to read databases or text documents. And then a lot of the times, those companies, scammers, are not going to be aware of that, and they won't care one bit about it. Another thing that scammers use is very, very technical terms, very fancy scientific terms. We're going to tokenize your database to allow the APIs to connect within the whatever, just technobabble. And they do that just to make themselves sound fancy and to confuse you. But people who are experts, who know what they're talking about and are helpful, they lower the language down to use analogies that people who aren't familiar can understand, like what I'm doing. And people who are scammers, they get defensive when you question them. They get very, very defensive when you start asking questions like, is this solution real? Is this solution going to work? They'll say, why are you questioning me? I'm the expert. I know all of this. I got a degree from an buy your own degree mills, diploma mills. So why are you questioning me about it? Don't listen to them. Run away. If it's too good to be true, it Probably is. It is, so don't use it. Ask for references. Ask them to give you references of businesses they worked with before, um, and get them to explain how that AI solution will solve your problems and meet your needs. If they can't do that, they just want your money. So, avoid them. There's another type of company out there, another group of, I wouldn't want to call them unscrupulous because they actually do provide service, but the companies that are on very, very shaky ground financially. And those companies are the ones that use, let's say, OpenAI, ChatGPT in the background. They use the APIs, the application programming interfaces, to create their own programs that link to API or Anthropic or Gemini, well, not Gemini, but to other organizations' services. Chat GTP, OpenAI, they're on very, very, very shaky ground financially. They are losing billions of dollars each quarter, and they are claiming they have all this revenue based on analyzed reporting tools that they have. And all what annualized revenue is they take 1 month, the best month, they multiply it by 12. That's shaky. That's very shaky ground. Plus, they're also being sued by, Nintendo. They're being sued by Disney. They're being sued by a lot of companies for copyright infringement. And they're also being sued by writers as well. So they're on very shaky ground. And they could go out of business at any time the moment the funding gets pulled. So companies that use OpenAI's API system to create their own AI solution, they could go out of business anytime, because if they don't have access to OpenAI's database, to the OpenAI's services, they don't have a product to sell, and they're out of business and you're out of money. So for these type businesses, I would ask them what type of API they use. Are they using their own database? Are they using OpenAI's database? Are they using, let's say, Amazon's API? Because Amazon's very successful. They make billions of dollars. They're not going away anytime soon. So ask who the API's provider is, and make sure that they're telling the truth and it makes sense. If they don't know who their API provider is, that's a massive red flag. As they can tell you that it's the entire solution is done in-house. It's posted on, a AWS cloud solution, Google Cloud, Azure Cloud, something like that, which is pretty doubtful, I think. But it could happen. So always review the contract. Always ask them questions. If they're honest, they're going to say, yes, we use OpenAI's API. We use, Anthropic Cloud API in the background. And, you can decide if it's worth the risk. Review the contract, if it's paid, if the payment is done monthly. Review it. If they go away, stop the payment. Make sure that you have access to the data. That your data isn't going into their cloud solution, which is going to be yanked back when OpenAI goes bankrupt. So make sure all of that is done, all of that is safe. Now there's a third group of companies out there. Those are the companies that calls everything AI. Everything possible with them is AI, because it's computers and AI. It's a good way to get money. Zapier is one of those companies that like to call everything AI when it's not. What they're actually doing is they're actually using APIs to connect into other software solutions. For example, there may be a company that connects, that creates a software program that connects Jira, which is a project management tool, with a customer relationship management database to help allow project managers to be more efficient with the projects. And that's great. That's a great software program and great solution. But it's not AI. It's an API, which is just two ways to connect, just a way to connect two more programs together. So I would be kind of suspicious. I'd ask them what type of AI solutions they use. I would ask how it's an actual AI system. They could be talking a big game. They could be saying, oh yeah, we can do whatever because we're super smart, but when it comes time for them to actually execute, they disappear. They can't figure out how to do it. So I'd be, a little bit, suspicious about it. If it's a big company that's running around saying, hey, we're AI, but we're actually using APIs, the salespeople probably say, yeah, we're just calling it an AI, but it isn't. So again, as for references, make sure they know what they're talking about. Make sure that, the references are happy with them. The references are big enough companies. Make sure that if these are publicly traded companies that are saying that, they have AI solutions, but they're really using API solutions. Make sure, just make sure, just double check, triple check. And always be careful with, vendors you never heard of. If it's big companies like Microsoft, Oracle, companies that's been around for 20, 30, 40 years, they're probably safe. But small companies, fly-by-night companies, be careful. So anyway, that's the conclusion of this video. If you want to learn more about running AI systems locally, buy my book, GPT for All, Installing, Configuring, and Using a Local AI Chatbot That You Control, by me, Benjamin Hayes. It's on Amazon right now, and the price is very low. If you want more business advice, project management advice, if you want to hire me as a project manager or a Scrum Master, send me a message on LinkedIn. LinkedIn information should be like down here someplace, I hope. My fingers crossed I can figure out how to do that. And send me a message on LinkedIn and let's talk. Until next time, stay safe out there in cyberspace. Bye now.